Racing is hard. Racing is fun. Racing is the best thing I've ever done in a car, and I feel like I want to devote my whole entire life to racing. This past weekend, I attended Grid Life Laguna Seca. In the past, when I've gone to Grid Life, I've just done drifting. But this past event, I went and I competed in my first ever Rush event. Rush is a mini formula car with a Gixxer 1000 engine strapped to the back, weighing in at just 1,200 pounds. And it's no joke, it's a very fast car with no extra stability control, with no ABS, no power steering. It's just you, the engine, and the car. Now I've been going out to Texas and I've been practicing, and I recently acquired a new one because I decided, hey, I'm going through a 30-year-old life crisis. It's time for me to pick up a new hobby, get behind the wheel, and do something I know nothing about. Now let me make this very clear. I know nothing about racing. I don't understand racecraft. All I understand is whoever makes it around the checkered line wins. Now when I've been going out to Texas doing my practice runs, I'm actually a very fast driver by myself. But I quickly learned this weekend that when you put me in a full race with 40 other cars, I'm not fast. I'm actually very bad, but I want to learn. Laguna Seca, one of the most famous racetracks to ever exist, arguably the best racetrack on the West Coast, hosted 4 races this weekend that I was getting tossed in with zero experience. I drive for Sonoko, which means that I have an arrive and drive program hosted by Rapscallion. Sonoko blessed me with a brand new livery for this race, with my own numbers, my own Hunt & Co livery, and my own matching livery with my other teammates, Nate Hamilton and Chris Forsberg. All of these cars are with the same team, Rapscallion. So here is our Rush car. The last time you guys saw it, it didn't have any of this livery on it, but now we got the 28 on there. We have the Hunt & Co branding on there. It's ours, it's our baby. Now with this new livery, I thought I was gonna be fast. I thought I was gonna be the Senna that was undiscovered. Going into our first practice session of the day, I actually put down a pretty fast time. I think it was among the top 10 of the 40 drivers, and I was feeling really good about it. But then getting tossed into the qualifying race, I did terrible. But the boys got everything fixed up. But let me give you a little tour of what's going on here. So right here we have Chris Forsberg's car. Coming a little bit farther, you got Nate Hamilton. Here is another car owned by a gentleman named Sheldon. They got into a front end wreck yesterday, but it looks like the boys got the whole thing fixed up. Let's go ask them. Hey Doug, is this thing from yesterday? Dan, how did this car get crashed yesterday?
Oh no, I have no idea.
Is that a Doug question?
There's an entire vehicle in front of it that should have been there.
Team crash. Damn, they got the whole thing fixed up.
No, that's awesome, dude.
I thought he was done for the weekend for sure.
Oh man, they worked through the night. Yeah, so the crews are good, man. So the crews worked through the night. Yeah.
That is cool.
I know I came over and just like, dude, good fucking job, guys.
That's sick. As you can see, this whole entire pit operation, things get rebuilt, things get fixed. There's about 10 to 12 guys that run this whole entire pit to make sure these cars are running at their best at all time. One thing we've also been working on a lot, which I think is so cool and is so much different than drifting, is how much data we look at. So after every single race, we come back in, we review our data, we review our line, we review where we're late, where we're early, if we're turning in too early, if we're applying too much this, too much that. So much different than drifting, but that's what this obsessing craze has been literally been stemming from for me, is the ability to look back and check how you did and improve on it each race. So we're gonna go out with practice this morning, then jumping straight into qualifying. Then after that, we go into 2 heats. We have the first race and the second race. On the first race, you're gonna be in grid on whatever qualifying spot you placed. Then you do the race. Once you do that race, wherever you end up, whether it's 4th, 5th, 30th, wherever you finish is where you start in grid for the next race. Here's a controversial hot take. If you haven't updated your mattress in the last few years, you're due, boys. Time to get a new mattress. And that's why today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep. As you guys know, they've been a proud partner of this channel and a proud partner of supporting my back, because I've been sleeping on their mattress for over 1.5 years to almost 2 years now, and it's the best decision I ever made. They're premium mattresses and they have tons of options tailored to what you need. They have a quiz you can take online, and after you take it, they'll be able to determine what mattress is best for you. So you don't need to question if it's wrong or right, because you're not there in person. But don't worry, the quiz is there for you. We live in 2024. If you're going to a mattress store, picking out a mattress and then shipping it or lugging it back to your house, that ain't it anymore, because Helix will literally ship this mattress to your front door in a vacuum sealed bag. You carry it into the room that you want, you unbox it, you let it inflate over the next few hours, and the mattress is ready to rip. But TJ, how am I gonna know if I really love the mattress if I can't test it out or touch it before I actually
getting it, don't worry, Helix gives you a 100-night sleep trial to ensure that you love it. They offer you a 10-year warranty on the mattress, and they even have payment options if you want that. I have the same doubts or concerns that many of you guys might have, but after taking the quiz, I got paired up with the Midnight Lux mattress. I'm a back sleeper, and it fits me perfectly. And just to sweeten the pot, if you guys go to helixsleep.com/TJ Hunt or click the links down below in the description, you can get 25% off of your mattress. 25%? Doesn't get much better than that. So head over to helixsleep.com/TJ Hunt, click the links down below, get yourself a new mattress. Your old one's gross. Someone needed to tell you, and it was me. Thank you so much, Helix Sleep, for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back to it.
This weather's not ideal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's Laguna.
Have you driven in thin?
I haven't at all, but you know, obviously the dew, the mist creates very poor visibility.
Yeah.
All of the cars have rain strobes,
Yeah.
so you can see. It's more so, what's gonna be tough is when we're on track, we're looking as far as possible as we can.
Yeah.
If it's a little bit hazy, it's gonna make everyone drive a little bit slower, but we're gonna try to leverage that to our advantage. So we'll see how it goes. We're suiting up for practice. We'll see if this fog clears. I never found clean air, which is an aspect of racing that I know nothing about, that when you actually go to a qualifying run and everyone's on tracks trying to set their own pace, there's gonna be traffic. There's gonna be people slowing you down. And if you don't know how to properly get around them and doing it at the best time possible, your time's gonna suffer. And it did. I ended up qualifying like 21st or 26th. Not the top 10 I was in practice, but I had to deal with it. Going into race one, it was pretty much uneventful. I didn't know how to defend my lane. Even though we talked about it in practice and talked about it before, everything goes blank when you're in the sea of 40 race cars. Race one chalked it up to a great learning lesson, but going on to race two, I was feeling it. I was angry. And in race two, my car broke. Car wouldn't shift. Now that is racing, so I had to disqualify myself because I had a mechanical problem. No worries, because going on to day two, it all started over again with practice in the morning, qualifying, and then 2 more races. Again, didn't qualify great, but in race one, I was pissed off. I was trying to be the Senna that was undiscovered. So much to the fact that when I was studying film the previous night, watching my other 2 teammates, Nate Hamilton and Chris Forsberg, I saw the aggression, I saw the risky moves, and then this happened. I was too risky. I caused an accident. I went to take the inside line and defend my line, elbows up, and I didn't leave enough room. It was deemed a racing incident that was on me, once again, disqualified. Which leaves us to race 4. I was in the back of the pack, baby. This was my shot. I was gonna blow through everyone and be the undiscovered Senna. And we did pretty well. So after doing our pace lap, we get a green flag and we are good to go. And this is the most dangerous part of the whole entire race. And you'll notice I'm trying to look where I can go while trying to be safe, and I actually get bumped right there, and you see him cut through the inside, so I follow him down on the inside, and I'm trying to be as safe as possible without cutting off any lines and really just avoiding traffic. You go 5 deep in these corners and it gets so hectic and you can't hear anything except the engines screaming. So it's really about holding my position while giving room and trying to take any window possible. But you always gotta be eyes up because anyone can crash at any time. This blue car in front of me actually takes too wide of a line, catches the marbles, goes wide, jumps back on track, doesn't even see me, nearly hits me, and we were able to avoid it. That was lucky. Now coming up on the next car, I know that I'm faster than him. It's just where's the best place for me to pass. I can tell he's a little bit hesitant and not carrying the speed, so I attempt to draft him and cut him down on the inside while not getting in a crash, but then a crash happens in front of us, dust goes everywhere, eyes up, and we successfully got a pass. Now it's the same story with this orange car. I can tell I caught up to the pack quickly, which means I know I'm going faster. So I look to the inside to try to get an advantage to late brake and hold it down. So on the right-hand side of me is that orange car. He's neck and neck with me, but I do a late dive, make up time in front of me, and I'm successfully able to box him out. But now that I've boxed him out, I need to make sure that I can hold my position. So I have to alter my line as best as I can to be defensive so he doesn't try to take another pass on me. And as always, eyes have to be up because crashes happen at any moment through the dust. People get scared, I take the outside and make 2 more passes.
Now, because there was an accident, there actually is a yellow flag. It just means to have caution, keep your order, but keep pace. But at the time, I didn't really realize that. And I saw Grant in front of me and I saw red and I wanted to get a pass on him. I noticed this pace was going a little bit slow, so I assumed there was some drama up ahead. Then I started drafting on Grant and I had decided that I was gonna take him up the inside. But some altercation happens, the white car goes left in front of me, I see the dirt option as a road, and I take it. But there was a yellow flag that now I just saw. And now coming up to the car in front of me, I realized it was a pace lap until they cleared the track, so I had to get in order and keep position. But at this point, I never even realized that I passed on a yellow. And now we continue to do a roll start and everyone is regrouped. They do not start the race until everyone has caught back up. So we start all over again, going into turn 1, 4, 3, 5 cars wide, and the same practice follows. Keep your position and try to defend, but there is a little bit of traffic and I have someone on my inside right that I start going head to head with. And I have people behind me, so you're really trying to imagine everything possible and try to predict what can happen. I notice I'm faster, so I try to go for the outside, then I try to go to the inside right, but again, he sees me and blocks me off, so I just decide to hold my position, keep my pace, draft as much as possible, and defend the inside left. And of course, we come up on another crash. I was able to dodge it, and I plow through it, but I slowed down so I get passed twice on the inside left. We passed 2, we lost 2, we're still sitting at a neutral position. But I can tell that I'm faster, so I'm gonna try to take an inside left here to try to carry some speed and late brake because that's something that I have the guts to do. And I go to make the attempt, and as I'm diving in, there's actually a car on my right that you can't see, so I have to leave room for him, but you can see him pop out of my right-hand side any moment now, and that's because he is literally right behind me. It's a game of cat and mouse, and he's probably gonna appear right now. The green car, this is actually a teammate car of Rapscallion. And as we come into this turn, another accident happens. Everyone gets in some garbage. I was able to see it, be eyes up, go to the inside, and I passed 3 more guys, which is really exciting for me. After another lap, again, I caught back up to the group, and I knew that I had more speed than the car in front of me. I even tried to do an outside pass going into turn 11, but he sees me, holds his inside line, and I know that I'm not going to be able to get it. And I knew the race was ending soon, and this would be the last big pass I would have, so I decided I was going to forget all the drama that happened earlier in race 3 of crashing, and I'm going to attempt a 5-car late brake dive. So you can see me flooring it behind him. He brakes early, leaves a window on the inside left. I dive bomb it, go into the corner, successfully do it. My car misshifts into neutral, which happens with these cars. I freak out. I try to hold my defensive position while going even slower and just using the track that I can. And once we get out of this next turn, I was able to stay on the gas and hold my position until we came up on the checkered flag. That was the best race I've ever experienced, and I will never, ever forget that.
All right, so recap after the last race. That's finally the results that we wanted. Race 1, race 2, race 3. None of them went how we want, but not having any experience, obviously the result wasn't gonna be great, but after this race, I took everything that I learned and I finally was able to string together a lap that was good. We went from 35 to 16. After watching the footage back, I did passing on yellow, which I shouldn't have done, but to be completely frank, I just forgot, didn't know, a little mix of all that, but
Who'd you pass on the double yellow?
I was gonna pass you regardless.
Don't know about that.
Actually, I really do think that.
I'm not gonna look at the flags and I'm just gonna drive.
Actually, it was a safety concern because you were reckless with those drivers.
Show
And
Charlie's
someone went in front of me, and it was a safety maneuver.
But
That's what it actually was.
You
So
guys-
I protest.
you guys need to realize, TJ and I have been talking smack for an hour about this. So this isn't a new conversation. This has been going on. We gotta go. Let's go take some pictures, baby.
Race 1 today, where we got into the little incident, was the best 90 seconds of my life in a car. After this race, that 15-minute, whatever it was, that was the best and most fun 15 minutes I've ever had in a car. A whole new can of worms has just opened up, and I cannot wait to let you guys in on the future. But until then, an amazing experience for Rapscallion. Couldn't do this without them, and Sonoko. Couldn't do this without them. I'm just so hyped. I'm just so happy, man. I'm just so happy. Yes, my first overall weekend at Grid Life competing in an actual Rust race. had terrible results, but it's what I learned to build the racecraft to become a better driver. And that's something that I'm going to be working on moving into next year, because next year, I'm happy to say that I'm gonna be driving in every single Grid Life Rush series. That's 6 to 7 race weekends, and hopefully come out on top. I'm gonna do practice in the off season. I'm gonna continue going out to Texas to practice. I'm gonna get on the sim. I'm gonna join iRacing. I'm gonna be an iRacing nerd. Maybe I'll go to NASCAR. Maybe I'll go to F1. Maybe I'll be on GT3 Cup. Or maybe none of that will happen and I'll just be a mid-pack driver who enjoys every second on the track. But you know what? No matter what happens, I'm gonna love it, because that changed my whole entire perspective on everything. Now keep in mind, at Grid Life, it's not just about the rush cars. We come here for drifting. We had the full Valvoline activation with Selena at the track, and in between all of our driving sessions of Rush, I had to go on track to drift, take nothing off of me, and immediately go back on track, which going from a race car to a drift car is quite a different feeling. The drift car felt like the boys made some changes to screw around with me, because when I got in it, it felt so awkward. The seating position was weird, the steering wheel was big, everything about it felt different. But quickly I was able to get back to it and we started drifting, having fun, and then we would come back to pits and get ready for our next rush race. That is the thrill and enjoyment of Grid Life, because there's so many different types of racing going on and you can participate in as many as you'd like. But I will say it was the most exhausting thing I have ever done. And I brought my GT3 RS, and I was gonna spend Sunday driving in the HPDE advanced class to see how fast that RS could go around the track with all of my undiscovered Senna racing experience that I had the prior 2 days. So we went on track and even did a few more sessions to see how that car felt. And I will say this, after driving that race car all weekend, the RS felt horrible. It felt like a car. It felt like a GT car with creature comforts that made the steering a little numb and wasn't as fast, didn't have the grip, the tires flashed and got hot. It was actually a pretty cool wake-up call to see how the Rush car was so race-inspired and how much of a race car it really is, that the GT3 RS, which I once held on this high pinnacle as the fastest car I've ever driven, all disintegrated. Now the RS was still amazing and it was so much fun, but it was quite the wake-up call to go from the race car to the actual road car to see how it was. It's still an amazing piece of machinery and the fastest car that I own that goes on a racetrack, but it is no race car. And that's how my weekend at Grid Life Laguna Seca went. Arguably the best Grid Life I've ever had. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, and keep moving forward.
What shirt are you wearing?
Comes out on Wednesday. Be prepped. You want to win a BRZ and get a bunch of new fire stuff? This Wednesday. Be ready.